Hey, good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa, and can't get my camera to work this morning, so you'll have to just live with maps and not my smiling face. The wind chill advisory is in effect for the UP and Wisconsin, not for us in lower Michigan, but it just says that we're going to be on the cold side. Radar this morning, I figure that's always a good place to start. Hey, good morning, Billy and Sarah Ball, and Carmelita Tiffany. Good morning to you. So, the radar is not showing anything. The conditions tell me that we could have spotty areas of sporadic lake effect, and nothing that would accumulate and would be real fluffy if you got an inch here or there in southwest lower. So dry day for today. Now let's look at what's going on into the future. Okay, so I'm calling this a weather whipsaw. We're finally going to get some winter weather. Well, it's here obviously today, and we're going to have an even colder day coming up Friday. So let's go through this. So here's today. In there, like I said, spotty little areas of lake effect on the southwest side of the state, west of Grand Rapids, Pentwater to Muskegon to South Haven, maybe up around Traverse City and Charlevoix areas. Not really much going on. Into tonight, maybe up in the far north, a couple of random inches. Yes, sunshine is a very nice thing. Hey, good morning, Kenny Rosso. Missed you too. I worked the weekend, so my MLive boss said, hey, take Monday off. I said, okay, will do. Now, this is Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. And what you're noticing there is an Arctic front coming in straight from the north. So behind it, it packs a spurt of snow, not a high moisture snow, and most of it's lake effect, but this Arctic front will move through, it looks like Thursday afternoon and evening, and send the temperatures really plummeting for all of us Friday night. I'm sorry, this is Thursday night right here. So it'll come through Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, send the temperatures plummeting for Friday morning into Friday afternoon. So this is Friday. And you'll notice those negative numbers like minus 24, minus 26, minus 28. That is the temperature in Celsius at about 5,000 feet up. And a minus 24 to minus 28 usually has temperatures below zero if it clears at night, and high temperatures in the single digits and lower teens. And you'll see that here in a second. But watch the quick turnaround. So this is Friday afternoon when the cold air bottoms out. And then look at already by Saturday morning, southwesterly flow, warmer air moving in. And by Saturday afternoon, much warmer air moving in. And by Sunday, you see the red lines. Those are temperatures that would be above freezing. And you'll see that. And we kind of flirt with more cold, but by the early part of next week, next Monday, we're well into a southerly flow. You'll see that too. Here's another cold front. It doesn't really barrel through with Arctic air. It just oozes in some cold air. So the next weather maker, not really until sometime next Tuesday or Wednesday, as far as something that would be fairly widespread. Christine Echoberry, morning sunshine, but super cold. Yeah, unfortunately, the two go hand in hand sometimes. All right, now here are the high temperatures, if you want to call them that. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Good morning, Victoria Angela from Grass Lake. Nancy Angle, why does sun in the summer equal hot, but sun in winter equals cold? The angle of the sun, remember, is it's way more down on the horizon, so it doesn't have the heating power. But it's gaining it every day now, as you notice. And the sunset is later and the sun rises a little earlier. So highs today only, we'll call it, 12 to 17 degrees in southern lower Michigan. Tomorrow, a touch better. We'll endure temperatures in the mid 20s. Thursday, ahead of the Arctic front, southern half of lower Michigan flirts with freezing or cracks it, but notice the cold to the north. And then Friday is the coldest day, probably of the winter. And from what I'm seeing, it might be the coldest day of the winter. We'll talk about that here in just a second when we get into the warming trend. So highs on Friday only in the single digits to lower teens, and that would mean that Friday morning we'd probably drop below zero. Saturday, some 25 degrees warmer into the low 30s. Sunday, into the low 40s in a lot of places. Monday, in the low 40s. Tuesday, 45 to 50 degrees. Wednesday, back to the 30s, and Thursday in the 40s. So you can see that we're going into a milder pattern. Eric Young's already scrapped this winter and looking for next winter, and they're getting harder to have when the globe is warmer, and especially the polar regions. It's hard to have cold enough air for a lot of snow. So this is the snowfall over the next 10 days. Hey, good morning, Susan Pretzer from Saginaw Township. And again, the next couple of days in the cold, there can be some random 1-2 inch spots of snow on the western third, but nothing that's really well put together. And then when the Arctic front comes through, it could stimulate a little bit more robust lake effect, but it's not something that would last long because the winds go around the southwest and the warmer air already coming in by Saturday. And so I'll just run this out 10 days. And in the next 10 days, might be looking at no snow in Detroit and Ann Arbor and southeast lower Michigan. And we might be looking at less than an inch in most places. So that's a pretty low snowfall amount through. This would bring us to the 9th of February. Carmelita Tiffany, I have a question when you have a second. What is the effect of extremely cold temps on sidewall salt's effectiveness? Well, the colder it gets, the normal salt that we've used over the years usually stops working like in the teens. But now they've made different salts that they say can work lower. So yeah, it does become less effective as we get colder. All right, now let's take a look into the long term. And I'm going to be highlighting this over the next couple of days. Since you're joining me, you get a little sneak preview. So let's look at the 6 to 10 day temperature and precip forecast, and 6 to 10 day February 5th to 9th is warmer than normal and leaning toward wetter than normal, but it would take until probably near late next week before we got into any storminess. Kenny Rosa, did I see rain possibly midweek next week? Yes, you did, with temperatures in the 40s. 8 to 14 day, February 7th to the 13th, warmer than normal, eastern half of the country, starting to maybe get back into that storm track. And then the 3 to 4 week forecast, this was made Friday, but this goes February 11th to the 24th, warmer than normal eastern half, colder than normal western half, maybe an active storm track developing again from south of us to maybe just south of us, but at some point we'll probably get back into that and get slop, get rain, get snow, this is our freezing rain ice storm time of year too, if we run a little bit warmer than normal and keep it away from being all snow. So there you have it. We've got some cold weather this week, but it's going to turn around very quickly, and the first half of February is not looking like strong winter conditions at all. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great day, and watch for my posts on mlive.com/weather.